I never enjoyed public speaking in high school. I had to give a turning of the tassel speech because I was a part of the student council, and I had to give it for about 30 seconds, and it was to 450 students plus their parents and other adults in their lives that came. And it was really nerve-wracking, but it really wasn't that big a deal at the same time since it was only 30 seconds. And now, since taking this public speaking class, I really realize how much more thought and practice has to go into a true public speaking. I never realized that you would have to take your audience into account so much. I now analyze my audience before I do a speech, and I think about who I'll be reaching out to, what I need to be saying to them, and how I want to get my message across. I also never realized how much movement visually helps engage the audience. I guess you never really think about movement as a part of a public speech. You always think, you stand still behind a podium. But now, kind of doing this class, I've realized moving actually helps visually engage the audience, and you don't have to worry about having them track you so much as they just naturally will. I never thought about hand gestures before, and now I use hand gestures a lot more, so much that my husband makes fun of me all the time for doing it, and he's always like, 1, 2, 3, and it's a little bit obnoxious, but kind of interesting that that is something that plays such a big role into doing a public speech, and how much it does help the audience to follow along where you are in your speech and what you're doing. I guess I had never really thought about practice so much in a speech too. Practicing the speeches, I've kind of cut off my bad habits. I usually pace during a public speech, and now that I have practice time, I don't pace nearly as much. I still find myself starting to walk, and but I'm able to cut myself off. I also bounce when I am speaking, like bounce with my knees, and now I don't do that nearly as much, and I catch myself usually before I even start. And so practicing just speaking and doing the speech before I give it really has helped me cut down on those bad habits. The only thing I haven't liked about speech this semester is I haven't liked the group project, but I think it's more because I haven't met the people in my group project, and so it was hard to get them engaged in the project and get myself engaged in the project. And also because I wasn't able to meet them before I made a group with them, I didn't know their work habits or anything about them, and I found out really quickly that you can't rely on other people's work habit without checking their work. And I learned definitely now to check everybody else's work and make sure that they're doing a proper job, and to make sure I myself am doing a proper job. Overall, speech has made me become a better public speaker, I think, and made me more comfortable. I now realize I really do need to work on movement, but purposeful movement, some hand gestures, and then also practice before I give a speech. Thanks.